In this video I want to share with you a workflow tip about creating curves to easily create, for instance, strands of hair. So right now I have three subtools: a simple sphere mesh, I have a fiber mesh that I have created, a single strand of fiber mesh, and I have a curve tripart curve brush that I've used on a curve created from that fiber mesh. It will become clearer once I go over the steps what I did to create this. So I'm going to hide these and I'm going to select my sphere and go to fiber mesh. When I press preview, I get a single strand, as you can see. Now I have initialized this already, so I have adjusted the length profile. I have set the length to max 2000. I've set the coverage to 1000. I've also given it some revolve of 90, and I also have adjusted the revolve curve, the revolve radius, and that is my result. Now max fibers has been set to 0.001 so that I have only one fiber. I can play around with this and have more if I want to, of course, but for this demonstration I'm going to use only one, and I'm going to accept. And now I have a fiber mesh subtool just like before, so these are identical as the one I've shown you. Now in order to create my curve, because I'm going to use, if I press the B key, you have the DE hair tubes. You can download that from Gumroad, from Dylan Ekman, and you can create, of course, your own tripart curve brushes. But I'm going to use for this demonstration the DE hair tubes. So I'm first going to add an edge loop with ZModeler. So I'm going to insert a single edge loop in the middle. Okay, and then with ZModeler I'm going to crease it. Crease. And now that edge is creased. And now if you go to your stroke palette, you have frame mesh, creased edges. So if I press that, now I have a curve that follows the form of that fiber mesh. And as you can expect now, if I select my tripart curve brush and click on the curve, and I'm going to delete the curve, I don't need it anymore, and I can delete that original fiber mesh and hide my sphere. Now you have a very precise form that would be fairly difficult to create if you were to shape it manually. So I've still my curve insert DE hair tubes active. So if I draw out a curve like that and I want to go and shape this in the form like I have created before, that would be a lot of work and it would be very cumbersome. But as you have seen, starting from a single fiber mesh with the settings of a fiber mesh and then adding an edge loop, increasing it, you can go to your stroke palette, press frame mesh with creased edges, and then use your tripart insert curve brush to create the geometry with that form. That's much faster and much easier, gives much more control. You have to take notes of a few things. So if you open your brush palette and go to your modifiers, for instance, so you have to make sure with your tripart curve brushes that tripart is checked, that weld point is checked. And you also might change your curve resolution. For the DE hair tubes, by default I think it was set to 1, and that's nearly not enough, so I've set it to max, and then it's 25, and then you have a nice result just like that. So a very simple way to easily create special forms without having to actually shape them yourself. So I can now, for instance, I can save this out, of course, with FiberMesh. I can save this if I want to preserve this for another time. I can save this. And if I say, for instance, my length profile, I'm going to change my length for the root and the tip, and my revolve, for instance, to 180. I might also have to add more segments, so I'm going to give it 50 segments. So revolve radius, maybe do a reset first, check to see the difference. I might have to adjust my length. Don't know if it's going to be visible, the result. Anyway, you can, maybe 180 is a bit, oops, and the quick save. So back to 90, 45 maybe, yeah, that's better. Okay, my revolve radius, I'm going to give more revolve at the tip. Okay, adjust my length profile. Maybe like that. So these are forms that are really difficult to shape manually, but with FiberMesh it's fairly easy to create a certain shape, and then as said, you can save it out. If you're happy with it, accept, and then you have a FiberMesh subtool. So this is still FiberMesh. I usually do a duplicate of it, hide that one, because if I'm going to edit this with ZModeler, it won't be FiberMesh anymore. So ZModeler, and again insert, and you know where this is going. So crease it. Now I can choose my tripart curve brush, and first I have to actually do a frame mesh creased edges and click on it. I've added a shortcut key for deleting the curve, so that is easy to delete it. So hide points, delete hidden, and again a very specialized form, if you will, that is very difficult to create manually. If you draw out your curve like that and have to go do these revolves, it will be a bit of a nightmare. You can of course probably also create these shapes in other programs or another way, but this is one way with FiberMesh. And FiberMesh gives a lot of possibilities of creating a lot of different base shapes, if you will, and then with ZModeler add edges and crease them. Then you can go to your stroke palette and frame the creased edges, and then you have your curve, and then you can use your curve brushes on that curve. And of course, once you have done that, you can also shape it further if needed. But anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. I hope you found it useful. Bye for now.